Part 1. The architect's arrival, a wise old tortoise named Terra, with a shell the color of mossy green and sun-baked earth, arrived in the Whispering Woods. She carried a blueprint made of a giant, pressed green leaf. Part 2. The beavers hydro dam. The beaver family, with fur the color of rich brown bark, showed off their latest dam. It wasn't just made of logs. It was woven with living willow branches that grew into the structure, strengthening it naturally and filtering the sparkling blue water. Part 3. The weaver bird's solar nest. A tiny weaver bird, with feathers of vibrant yellow and jet black, demonstrated his hanging nest. He wove strands of shimmering, reflective spider silk into the walls, which captured the sun's warmth to keep his eggs cozy at night. Part 4. The prairie dog's ventilation system. In the golden, sun-drenched grasslands, the prairie dogs had designed their underground town with a clever wind scoop system. Their mounds were positioned to catch the breeze, creating a natural air conditioning flow through their cool, dark earth tunnels. Part 5. The leafcutter ants' fungal farm. A line of leafcutter ants, carrying pieces of emerald green leaves, marched into their underground nest. They weren't just storing food. They were farming. They used the leaves to grow a special fungus, their main food source, in a perfectly climate-controlled subterranean garden. Part 6. The spider's water harvester. An orb weaver spider, with a body of silver and black, had spun a web with a special pattern. The morning dew collected along the glistening, silvery threads and channeled into tiny droplets, providing her with a daily supply of fresh water. Part 7. The termite's cooling tower. A giant termite mound stood like a red clay skyscraper. Inside, it was a masterpiece of natural engineering. A complex network of vents and chimneys allowed hot air to rise and escape, keeping the inner chambers at a perfect, cool temperature. Part 8. The squirrel's insulated dray. A squirrel was lining her nest, or dray, high in an oak tree. She wasn't just using leaves. She was weaving in fluffy, white thistledown and strips of insulating birch bark to create a snug, weatherproof home. Part 9. The caddisflea larva's recycled castle underwater. A caddisflea larva was building its protective case. It used tiny pebbles, grains of golden sand, and even fragments of iridescent mussel shells it found on the riverbed, creating a beautiful, recycled fortress. Part 10. The pufferfish's sand art. On the ocean floor, a male pufferfish was hard at work. He used his fins to carve intricate, geometric patterns in the white sand. This crop circle art wasn't just for show. The grooves and mounds helped protect his eggs from ocean currents. Part 11. The bee's hexagonal hive. The bees, of course, were the masters of efficient design. Their honeycomb, made of golden beeswax, used the perfect hexagon shape to store the maximum amount of sweet, amber honey using the least amount of material. Part 12. The swift's saliva. Skyscraper. High on a cliff face, a tiny swift was building its nest. It used its own sticky saliva, which hardened into a sturdy, gray cup, to glue its home securely to the rock, safe from predators and the elements. Part 13. The harvest mouse's apartment. In a field of tall, green and gold reeds, a harvest mouse had woven several stems together to form a spherical nest. It was a suspended apartment with multiple chambers, perfectly camouflaged and swaying gently in the breeze. Part 14. The community collaboration. Terra the tortoise gathered them all. "You see," she said, "we don't just build houses. We build ecosystems." The beaver's dam created a pond for others. The bird's nest dispersed seeds. Every home helped another,